My name's Simon Halfide. I'm Sales Director for Redrow Greater London, and I basically cover the whole of London in terms of the sales and marketing of Redrow product. Redrow is the 5th largest house builder in the UK. We cover the whole of the UK. Our head office is based in Wales. We're one of the few privately owned companies. We're relatively new to London, but so far it's going incredibly well. Blake Tower is a Grade 2 listed building, part of the Barbican estate. It used to be a YMCA, and we purchased it in 2013, and since then we've been converting it into apartments. We've actually got people moving in, or have been in the last few weeks. It comprises of 74 apartments. We have a few studios, but it's 1s, 2s and 3s, beds with 2 apartments on the top floor. That really is where we're at the moment. In terms of the purchasers that we've had, a real eclectic mix. There hasn't been one particular type of purchaser that has bought here. Teamed up with Conrad & Partners in terms of the interior design specification, which we felt was very important. With any conversion of a building, it's always quite tricky because you want to try and retain elements, and being Grade 2 listed, we couldn't really touch the building. And that made it very, very difficult. We had to be quite subtle in terms of how we created space. In some cases we had what we would term as over large or too large apartments, but we've tried to utilise, we've given very large bathrooms, particularly in the 2-bed. I think one feature that really to me stands out above all is we've tried to retain in all the apartments some of the brutalistic architecture, particularly in the hallways, so it's a nod towards the Barbican. So even though you can see it from the outside, we always felt that it would be great to have some sort of a feeling of the outside inside. So it works particularly well, and I think Conrad and Partners have been quite subtle, blends in incredibly well. They've tried to utilise old parts of the Barbican as well, particularly the brass, door furniture and things like that. I think certainly Brexit initially, within the first sort of month afterwards, I think all of my developments I think people were taking stock. But since then, to be honest, no. It really hasn't made a difference. I think you've got people who are downsizing, they're going to move, people need to move regardless of what the market does. And that really hasn't affected. I think we've probably seen more recently a few more overseas purchasers because of the sterling dropping so much, and their Hong Kong dollar, for example, being worth that much more. But not overly so. I think stamp duty, I think where someone might be looking at a 2-bedroom, they're now perhaps looking at a 1-bedroom. And I've had probably more people questioning the stamp duty than I have Brexit. No, Brexit really hasn't had a huge effect more recently on our sales anyway. I think it's the old adage, it's location, location, location. You know, where we're based here in the Barbican, we've got the Barbican tube station literally opposite the development. Farringdon is a short 5 minutes away, and that's got Crossrail coming up, which again has been a massive hook for people. But also you can walk to the city here, Cannon Street, within sort of 10 or 15 minute walk. So we've got Smithfield Meat Market just across the road, so you've really got everything on your doorstep. So from probably an area that was very quiet 10 years ago, particularly at weekends, you've got more people living here and creating, you know, their own identity. And I think because we're on the Barbican, the actual Barbican itself, which is a sort of a village within the City of London, which has great outdoor space, which again you don't feel like you're in the centre of London, which I think appeals to a lot of people. It's a very arty location. There's always some sort of arts gallery being open. They do have a lot of musical events going on, particularly in the summer. There's great gardens, and I think the feature that I love is the water. You know, you've got that sort of as a feeling of not being in central London because you can hear the water flowing, got some lovely plants, and it's very tranquil. And I think to me that's probably the one I love the most. We are in the marketing suite as we talk, and we're open from 10 till 5:30, 7 days a week. We have a full 2-bedroom apartment here that people can come in. We've actually now started to be able to show people in the main building itself, because we've got people moved in and the number of apartments are finished. So I think that's important to get people in there. They can really see the views and get a feel of the atmosphere. They want to contact us. It's probably best on our website, which is www.redrow.co.uk, and Barbican Tower, and then all that information is there.